deep love of Jesus. It's so deep that song just tries to describe it. But even creation can't contain it. Even the vastness of the depths of the ocean, even the expanse of the world, cannot contain the deep, deep love of Jesus. As I was growing up as a kid, Monday, Thursday, and Good Friday were days of Holy Week that I really didn't even do Holy Week, quite frankly. We did the Palm Sunday, and then we immediately ran to Easter. But who wants to think about betrayal? Who wants to think about death? Who wants to take a whole service and be a downer? And as we come tonight, and I think in my tradition that was reflected then in my setting and in my life, because one of the reasons we don't like to talk about death, one of the reasons we want to run to resurrection is because we don't like death before resurrection. We don't like to sit and think about this deep, deep love of Jesus, because I think there's part of us that doesn't like to recognize that we too are sinners. We have egos. And the death of the cross smacks against every fiber in our body. And I would say even the love of Jesus does. Because our ego wants to be recognized. It's our ego that's always getting hurt. It's always being offended. In fact, I would say the only way our egos really know each other, and this is why this smacks against us, you know how our egos thrive? Do you know how we begin to even identify ourselves? You know how our egos thrive and become known and we recognize them? They all become thriving and known because egos are always comparing. Egos thrive on comparison. That's why I have to be better than you. That's why this church has to be better than that church. In fact, the whole world thrives on that. The ego knows itself by comparison, and here's what happens to the deep, deep love of Jesus. Here's what happens at the cross. Here's actually what we recognize when we come to the table, is when the deep, deep love of Jesus comes and it shatters our egos, and we can't compare ourselves with anybody anymore. We can't look at each other anymore and so at least I'm better than them. Sometimes I think we based Christianity on all of that, and walking with Jesus means nothing more than having the bigger and better ego. But if the deep, deep, deep love of Jesus is what it says it is, then we're all the same, aren't we? We're all in desperate need of that love. We betray our egos by even how we define love. We spend our lives wanting to be loved. Here's how we do it. I want to be loved, so guess what I want to be? I want to be a good people. We want to be good people. I want to think kind and good thoughts. I always want to have pure motives, and I always want to be selfless. I want to be well-groomed and funny. I don't want any embarrassing habits. If I can accomplish all of those things, maybe, just maybe, you will love me more. Maybe your kids will love you more. Maybe your significant other will love you more. There's that ego again. So even as we come to the table, we have to be good enough. Have I loved well enough? Have I been good enough? Do I have any embarrassing habits that will earn me the love of God? Listen, we just sang, "Oh, the deep, deep love of Jesus." And if God's love is contingent on how well you and I are behaving, then for each of us, His love is as only deep as our behavior. I would make the case His love is as deep as our behavior, but our behavior is found deeply wanting, and none of us have any hope unless we embrace the deep, deep love of Jesus. Luke, in his account, says this: "It was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour, while the sunlights faded. The curtain of the temple was torn in two, and then Jesus, calling out with a loud voice, said, 'Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.' And having said this, he breathed his last. Now when the centurion saw what had taken place, he praised God, saying, 'Certainly this was a righteous man.' And all the crowds that had assembled for this spectacle, when they saw what had taken place, returned home beating their breasts. And all his acquaintances and the woman who had followed him from Galilee stood at a distance, watching these things." Darkness descended from the 6th to the 9th hour, just as darkness is descending now. Why the darkness? What was it? This was a miracle, by the way, because it was in the middle of the day when darkness descended. What is happening? What is happening is this picture, this reality that Jesus actually entered into our darkness. He entered into our darkness. He actually is entering into creation's darkness. Creation groans. Jesus is entering the darkness to bring light to us. It's a miracle. Darkness in the middle of the day. Darkness that Jesus enters into. And then another miracle happened, and that was the veil being torn. You could just rip the veil. It's torn from top to bottom. Jesus not only entered our darkness, he came to make us one. He came to make us one with God. He came to take away the division between a holy God. The temple veil actually separated man from God. It separated God's pure holiness from sinful man. And here on the cross, something happened. The deep, deep love of Jesus shred the temple, or shred the curtain in two, and says there is now no longer any division between God and man. That Jesus Christ has come and he's entered the darkness to become a sacrifice so that alienation and that division could be done away with. All for you and me. It says here at the end of the passage that the crowds were here and it was a great spectacle. And no doubt the Roman centurions were part of a great spectacle and enjoyed the spectacle and laughed. And you know what? I actually saw this on Facebook today, and I didn't know this. Do you know the first human depiction of the resurrection was found in Rome in the 2nd century, and it was graffiti carved out on rock. And do you know what the first depiction of the resurrection actually fits this passage? There was a man hanging on the cross, and the man's head was a donkey. The first recorded human depiction of the resurrection, and inscribed below it was the name of some guy I couldn't pronounce, making fun of him that this was his God. And you get the depiction of the donkey's head. It was a spectacle, the town clown. But what happens when Jesus enters our darkness? What happens when the division between God and man is broke? Lives are changed. And in the middle of this spectacle, the very government Roman centurion that was there to put him on the cross says, surely this was a righteous man. Because when Jesus enters the darkness, when Jesus breaks down the division, he saves sinners. That's what he does. Because that's the deep, deep love of Jesus. So deep that it will enter any and every part of any activity or thing that you have ever done. The thing that actually you think keeps you from God, he is shattered. So that you and I could be redeemed. And while a Roman may have depicted in graffiti a man with a donkey, God took that moment, and I think it would be safe to say that in the world today, there is no greater symbol of love than the cross. We wear it in our ears. We wear it around our necks. We have it on our Bibles. We hang it in our churches because of the deep, deep love of Jesus. And all of this for what? You know, the disciples that last night, they don't get it. But Jesus went all the way to the cross to actually show, maybe to them, that they could comprehend this love. And so for us tonight, you know, this whole Lent thing, maybe it's confusing to you. Maybe we're a little weird. We do Ash Wednesday. We do Good Friday. I mean, was Jesus really even killed on Friday night? I know people argue about that. It's 3 days in the tomb. And, you know, I used to go to Sunday school classes where they spend hours talking about that. Listen, we don't have to get the day right. It's still the deep, deep, deep love of Jesus. And we actually betray ourselves. We actually betray ourselves when we argue and we squabble and we actually think that a certain day or a certain thing will somehow betray his love or that we'll screw it up. His disciples didn't get it. No one got it. We don't get it. But you know what? His love is so deep that he doesn't give up on us even when we don't get it. See that? Wait, that you can add that to the list. Worthy of his love, I get it. If I get it, then he will love me more. His love is so deep that he loves us even when we don't get it. Thank God. So we gather at this table, not because we are rich, not because we are good, not because we are worthy. You know why we gather and eat at this table? Because we're hungry. We're hungry for Jesus. This table should be a reminder that even in our daily lives, we should starve ourselves of everything the world has to offer but Jesus.